Hey guys, welcome to the Canada Puck Podcast, your weekly recap of what's going on in the world of sports, specifically hockey, and more specifically just Canada. See a little Canada? It's right here. That's what we're talking about. I'm your co-host, Mick. You can find me on Twitter at ProfitMick, and I'm joined every episode by my lovely and talented co-host, Grant. I also have a ball. Whoop. Okay. Ah, that delay. Wormhole. Whoop. Yeah. Yeah, for the most part, it's pretty good. The various leagues, there's some baseball. There was even some baseball movement too, right? Like if you listen to the rumblings of that, there was a couple trades, a signing or something like that in the last little while. Yeah. Uh-huh. There's a story. I started watching the TCU game, and then something happened in my life, and I thought, man, I should bet a lot of money on Georgia to beat them, Michigan to beat them. I was like, man, Michigan's definitely beating TCU. And then I dropped my phone on the couch, and I was like, oh, I'll get it later. Good job, me. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I headed a commuting the other day, and I had a ticket. It was Toronto to beat the Kraken and Team Canada to win the gold medal. And I had a parlay, and the odds were not great. And I'm like, oh, I'll just bet a lot of money, and that'll compensate for bad odds, because that's how you gamble. And somebody bumped me, and my browser closed, and I was like, oh, I'll do it later. And then later I was like, what if I bet Seattle to win though? And I took Czech Republic plus 2 goals, in overtime. I'm covered. I'm like, what happens? Much better results. So Grant, just listen to the universe. Yeah, yeah. Don't put those square pegs in round holes. All right. Yeah, yeah. I feel like my table needs to be leveled. It seems very wobbly. I'm not in an earthquake, people. I'm just in a basement. We don't have earthquakes in Calgary. We just have blizzards. They. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Cool. Awesome. There you go. Let's talk about. Those aren't irrational fears. The clown with the knife, maybe, but the other ones are actual real things. So, and we'll be right back on to Grant's Paranoia podcast after this quick break from Arma. All right. Now that we're back, it plays really well on a podcast form, I imagine. So, for the first new to the show, it's been a while. We took a 2-week break over Christmas, so we haven't talked for a little while. So we needed some bantering. Don't fear, people. We will be getting to our content. We have headlines to go through, so we're going to recap what's been going on with the Canadian teams. We are going to do some gambling advice, some fantasy advice. Maybe look at some boobs. Give me good times. So starting with that, Grant, do you have any New Year's resolutions? Are you a kind of guy that does that? That's it. And my New Year's resolution, as always, is be better. No, that's nothing. And like, I mean, it's not really specific. It's not specific. It's not measurable. It's not really attainable. It's not realistic or timed. Have you told that I've taken some type of goal setting class before in my life? Nice, nice, nice. That's not bad. It's not bad. Speaking of resolutions, you know, it'd be a good idea. We should do resolutions for all the Canadian teams. Look at that natural segue that I just didn't like force in there, even though I told Grant to come up with some resolutions last night. Off the top of our heads, we'll just like wing it today. All right. Whew. All right. So we're gonna look at the bottom of the standings. I got the bottom 5 teams. Good news, guys. There are no Canadian teams. Let's go 6. Oh, Montreal. Come on. Okay, so 27th from the bottom, or 27th actually from the top. They're only 6th from the bottom, is the Montreal Canadiens. I'm disappointed. mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. Start of the new year, and maybe I'm borrowing a little bit from The Office here, but the first thing you should do, January 1, Montreal, you should start cleaning up your salary cap. Because guess what? If you do all your spring cleaning the start of the year, guess what you have to do in the springtime? Nothing. Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh. They have too much like build up and like stress in their lives. They need to like relax a bit. Okay. Good then. Assuming, and to my point, like I said, Montreal, like they've got really nice pieces, but if you go into their cap friendly page, it's so ugly. They have just so many middling contracts, and I do feel like they probably need to move on from those pieces. If they had acquired those contracts and say had, you know, extra prospects after draft picks, great, cool. That's what happens, right? That's kind of the nature of the game, as it were. But when you've signed all the really bad contracts, that's when I start being like, well, it's kind of your own doing. So maybe you need to look at that. Uh-huh. They used to be in the 20s. Obviously, they've had a really rough couple of, they're like 1-8-1 in their last 10. They've lost 6 in a row. Maybe they watched the World Juniors over the holidays and they thought, hey, you know what? That Connor Bedard guy might be all right. Or they're like, Shane Wright. Now that is a talented kid. We really need to try and draft him. So get Shane Wright. That could be their objective. Uh, on the Shane Wright notes, I did see on Twitter last night that the All Star ballot, Shane Wright is actually a participant. So you were allowed to vote as fans for Shane Wright to be in the NHL All Star game. I think we know what to do. Tell 10,000 friends. We've got it. All right. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. 25th. That's who I was looking. So what is that from the bottom? 8th. Vancouver Canucks. My New Year's resolution for you was to like do what you have to, take a chainsaw to your team, infect monkeypox or something like that throughout the locker room. You guys probably should be playing for Connor Bedard at this point. Move what you need to, suck, tank, go. You need something. Your organization is like not looking so hot right now. Hmm. Yeah. Well, the officiating was questionable at times. Like there was definitely like that Blake goal that was called back against the USA. I'm like, I don't know. The goalie was like laying across the ice on the other side of the net when he was outside of the. I don't know. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Well, I might have had a vested interest in Team USA keeping it close. So that plus 2.5 goals really would have got me somewhere in my life. So biasm is what I'm saying. Yeah. It, that makes sense. You don't have like super high level efficient because like the play in the World Juniors is poor, right? Like Connor Bedard looked great, but against who? Right? Like there was very sloppy play. Like watching those games, I'm like, yeah, there's a reason I don't watch a lot of junior games. Oh, look at that, 24th. We scroll up, we get to the Ottawa Senators. I was so happy in those first five that we saw no Canadian teams. They were just all above it. Great, awesome. Ottawa, what is your New Year's resolution this year, Ottawa Senators? There you go. There you go. For myself, I think the Ottawa Senators, being a professional hockey team, should probably invest in at least one team doctor, maybe some type of like personal trainer for the team, or just even like a physiotherapist on call that the players can reference when they're not feeling great so they don't have injuries. I think man hours lost by the Ottawa Senators in the last couple seasons, right? We've seen Matt Murray be on the shelf, the Talbot was on the shelf there at the start of the season. They lost one of their defensemen at some point to like a pretty major injury. It just seems like health of this franchise in the last little while has definitely kept them in the basement, right? It's just, and I think if you probably had like a medical staff rather than just use the local walk-in clinics at the Canadian Tire Center, it might get you further. So I think if they had like, as a professional team, they should maybe have some type of like level of professionalism behind the scenes. It might help the on ice product. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. But at least like at least in those other scenarios, like you're saying, like with the Blue Jays, it's the turf, right? Like turf is historic for increasing injuries, right? Like we see it in football. Guys play on grass, you can turn more, it's not as hard of the impact. And then these guys go on turf, and all of a sudden they get like turf toe, or they get, like they hurt their ankles and their knees, and like all these things come up basically from what we know is like not where you're supposed to play. The Senators, you have the same surfaces everywhere else in the league. Like, what is your excuse? I'm imagining that like their gym is just the local Gold's gym or something like that, and they just end up just like having bench press competitions all the time, kind of thing. And that's like, shit. We'll just say it happened at the game. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Just yeah, you got like an old gym teacher, and he's got his little crossword book in the side of the thing. He's like, that's it, guys. Just one more lap, then you can go home. Yeah. First thing they do, and they like get into it, he's like, all right, this guy's injured. What we need some marijuana. And then Ryan Reynolds just pulled down his mask, but he's like, marijuana? But why? What about team personalities? We could be frisky. Awesome. All right, so we got almost all the Canadian teams done. I don't know. I haven't looked at the standings for a while, so this is a surprise. Detroit, Florida at 22nd? What is happening down in Florida? Hmm. Hmm. Good. Good. That makes me happy. So, I mean, I kind of said that. Like, the best asset I think Calgary got from the Kachuk trade, probably the first round pick, right? Because it's next year's, maybe something like that. And I'm like, I kind of feel like Florida seems like one of those teams that like could spiral really quickly. Like they just like one of those organizations that aren't well built, right? They're not like established, and they had success, but like I imagine like the spiral happens. So like that could be a good pick from Calgary's point of view. Yeah, and I do not think they have that. I mean, Colorado, the reigning champions, are 19th right now, so it's a long season. I guess there's still lots to play. Edmonton Oilers at 17th overall, just almost barely legal, as the websites say. Or they're not barely legal. Yeah, that's right. That's too bad. They're 17 again. Is that a movie? Zac Efron? All right. All right. Well, yeah, that's what we're doing. New Year's resolutions. I was just flustered by the Florida. Let's see. So we did that. Uh, all right. So we've already made our jokes about Jack Campbell. I'm just gonna pretend that's not a thing. My New Year's resolution, if I'm the Edmonton Oilers, I am making sure anytime you have a lead, those last 2 minutes of the ice, Jesse Pujarvi is out there, and all hands on deck as soon as there's an empty net against you. have Pujarvi give him the puck, let him shoot, let him practice scoring some goals, getting the feel for the game. There's also some East Coast pro scout out there that just looks at box scores. He's not doing his jobs, guys. Like he's sitting, he's got his PSP or his PS Vitas or something. He's playing Metal Gear Solid. He's not paying that much attention. He's just gonna look at the box score and say, Pujarvi, he's on a 5-game goal streak. This is awesome. Let's trade for him. Mind fuck the shit out of everybody. So that's mine. So showcase Jesse Pujarvi. All right. You're not trading for Duncan Keith at this point. Like, it's probably not. We've seen you make bad trades and we've forgiven you, Oilers. Like, it happens. Yeah, that's. Do something. Do anything. Yeah, I'm pulling up the leaders because I saw somewhere it's like they struggle again despite McDavid's video game like numbers. Yeah, he has 175 or 175 points on the year. 75 points. He's got 20 more points than, like, I mean, not with Dry. He's got 50 more than Draisaitl and 20 more points than the combination of Tage Thompson, Kucherov, and Jason Robertson, who are all 3, 4, and 5. Now, I mean, with that being said, it sucks if you don't have team success, right? Like, the MVP is weirdly a team award as well, right? Like, if you're, yeah, you put up 200 points, McDavid, amazing, but, like, you didn't make the playoffs, so what do you do with that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 All right. Pittsburgh 16. That's not like they're hanging out with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's okay. Calgary 15. There you go. So they're 1 point behind Calgary, and they could be 15. I'm not gonna make any weird analogies with that one. New Year's resolutions for the Calgary Flames. Look. Well, I shouldn't have made the joke about the 17. Like, once they started saying it, we were processing. I realized I had made, like, a big mistake, like X, and I just wasn't going to go there I was just going to stop. But I'm not going to be like apologetic for what I said. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I said it. And I moved on. That was me. That was me admitting that I was like, I'm just not even going to go there. Obviously, didn't land. So we'll just like the Calgary, oh, they're doing all right. I guess at 15th, you're just above the league median, so that's pretty exciting. Perfect. My New Year's resolution, very similar to that, is I think that they should outline all these things that they've done, very, very well. Maybe in some type of document, and maybe put like Brad Treliving on the top of it with all of his little accomplishments, and send that piece of paper to every other owner in the league to kind of show off how well you are. So my New Year's resolution for the Calgary Flames is Brad Treliving should really work on, should send out really nice resumes to everybody, because I feel like he probably is not a dumb man. He's done some good moves, but he probably sees that it's not working. And I imagine he probably wants to move somewhere where there's not tornadoes and earthquakes and blizzards, right? Maybe somewhere nice. So I'm thinking their New Year's resolution is Brad Treliving should find a new job somewhere nicer. Lots of blizzards. Who's kind of, yeah, I don't know. The California teams, they might sink into the ocean. Philadelphia, you have to hang out with people in Philadelphia, so that's kind of like a natural disaster in itself. Yeah, I don't. It's a little wintry. It's a little less wintry than, say, like your Winnipeg or something like that, right? Yeah, something like that. I could see it being kind of nice. You might do like Arizona. I can't imagine they have a general manager, so. That's yeah, like I'm sure the two Zamboni drivers take turns and stuff fielding calls. Like, oh my god, someone has to go through this inbox. We have all these calls for players and trades. Like somebody has to deal with it. And he's like, I'll do it. I just got to fill up the propane tank, guys. All right. Oh yeah. 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 Quit calling me about defensemen right now, guys. I got the ice here is not great. Yeah. Well, I think they do know it. I think so. They're fourth from the bottom, and like I feel like their victories. They've had how many wins? They have 13. I could tell you 6 times that the Arizona Coyotes have beat someone on their home ice. And like they've beat the best teams. Like haven't they beat like the Bruins, the Leafs, the Knights, Carolina, and like it's like literally it's like the top teams in the league is like who they hold victories against. And I'm like, well, it's because no one wants to fucking play there. Like it's not fair. Brad, come on. What are you doing? Why are you in that office in this? You can't have an interview right now. We got to go. Come on. Go. All right. So we got the Islanders at 14th. The Seattle Kraken at 12. I'm not a teenager yet, Seattle. Still kicking butts. Winnipeg Jets, where are you? At 7th. Wow. Huh. Cool. So, top 10. They're just kicking butt, taking names. They're on a 4-game win streak. Cool. Good job. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I had this thought when we were trying to get when they were trying to get Kawhi to stay, right? Like how do you keep Kawhi in Toronto? He probably don't. He likes California. He doesn't want to be in the snow, right? But could you not have like he just eats for free? So why wouldn't some type of local Winnipeg establishment, maybe a group of restaurants, just say like Jets family Jets players eat for free or something like that in these establishments? So then these hockey players, they're like, well, it's kind of chill when you come here because like there's like the cost of living is so low because we get all these like discounts and have like a conglomeration, and you have an NHL fan support. Not only that, but like, are you more likely to take your family, go for beers or something like that at some bar if you knew that like the Jets players eat there for free? Like maybe you get to see some Winnipeg Jets and stuff like that, right? Like make it a more, I don't know, casual environment, and you probably increase the revenue because you could have more fans coming to those establishments thinking like, oh, they're like, they support my team that I like. Hmm. Yeah, that's. Oh, did you ever have the deep fried mushrooms from the Burger Baron? Oh yeah, like. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Cool. Cool. They're so good. They're so good. Like they're probably good for you too, so that's the exciting thing. That's fair. Yeah. Oh, you like. I like this. I like this. You run with this. Like make Hellebuck just the king of the city, and like you have a Connor Hellebuck jersey, 10% off your bill. Boom. All these chains of restaurants. You're a Jets fan? Have a Hellebuck jersey? 10% off. Genius. You wear it into the liquor store? 5% off liquor prices. Get all the bums and stuff wearing Hellebuck jerseys. The guy walks around. He thinks literally he could be the king. Look at all these people with the name on his back. So, or you're creating a weird leverage situation when he goes to ask for his next contract. He's like, I want a max. They're like, what do you mean? He's like, literally everyone has a Hellebuck jersey. Like, if I leave, everyone in the city is pissed off and they actually might riot. Huh. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Huh. That's why no one's done this before. Thanks a lot. That's it. I didn't do mine. I almost moved on. I forgot to do mine. Buy. I just said buy. So Grant for Edmonton was do something. Winnipeg. I feel like you're in this window. You've got your Hellebucks. You've got your players under your little deals. Everyone is healthy at this point. You've got Pierre-Luc Dubois on his 1 year deal. He's trying to play for his next contract. I think this is that point where you leverage picks when it comes down to it, right? When it comes to the deadline, and like move all in, right? Go find those like nice shiny pieces, bolster that third line, bring in a top six forward, bring in a couple D-men if you have to, right? I think buy. I think this could be one of those like not all in years, but you guys are playing really good hockey, right? Like I don't know if this opportunity is going to present itself in the future as the way the organization is constructed, right? But no, maybe it is. Maybe it continues with all the prospects and they start kind of growing, right? So do they have any like weird guys that are standing out? How's my boy Halona doing? Oh, he's got 1 point. Terrible. Tucker Poolman? Yeah, no, I don't see. Huh, all right. Nicholas Ehlers, you only played 3 games, but you have 3 points. That's pretty good. All right, now let's not look at Jets players. Like, who is doing all the scoring? Connor, Morrissey, Dubois, Shifley. All right, cool. Yeah, makes sense. Sure, why not? And then let's scroll up. Obviously, there's one team left, I believe. They're fourth. Look at that. Toronto Maple Leafs, fourth from the top. Go Maple Leafs. What is your New Year's resolution for the Toronto Maple Leafs? I imagine it's going to be very original and not what everyone has said for like 5 years. All right. Yeah, that's cool. So they should start. They should start the promotion that if you have a Connor Hellebuck jersey, you get 5% off. Cool. All right. Very proactive. Win around. I think they've had something. I saw some stat today that their goals against their save percentage or something. Their team save percentage is like the worst in the league since December 15th. So it's definitely not their strength. They're overcoming it. We kind of knew that that's what was happening. Everyone was kind of blowing the Samsonov and the Murray signing. They're just adequate. That's really all this team needs because they are top to bottom very well, right? They were hit by a string of injuries. They've lost their top 3 defensemen for an extended period of time. And what happened? We saw Mark Giordano and Justin Hall step up and play at competitive defensive levels, right? So like we don't have to belabor this point. The Leafs are kind of who we thought they were. They're going to win most of their games. Occasionally they're going to lose to Seattle randomly on a Thursday, but like, don't panic. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, and like just don't whatever you do as a Leafs fan, maybe that should be their New Year's resolution. As Leafs fans, New Year's resolutions is just don't think about this too hard. The first round of the playoffs, you're probably going to play Tampa Bay, who, if they had 2 more points, would be 6th. So you'd be playing as a 4 seed, you'd be playing the 6th overall seed. You win that matchup, you get to play the 1st overall seed. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that how playoffs should work? Yeah. Uh, well, and like if it's not working, like you can always change it. Like, and that's probably my greatest argument for wanting to see Gretzky's goal record fall down. Not that I hate Wayne Gretzky, not that I hate the Oilers, not that I love Ovechkin. I just want like new things to happen, right? I also feel like overall we should probably change how we do points, right? Like the fact that we make up random points when overtimes happen and people play for ties, it's stupid. Absolutely dumb. Playing for points is just one of the most ludicrous things we do in sports. But we can't ever go to a 3-2-1 point scoring system because that would change the records. Nothing. Yep. Like, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, and you have to look in eras. Like every 10, 15 years is really like an era in a sport, right? And they're all different. Like you look at the history of basketball, football, baseball. Like I would never say anything's the same. And they change, but hockey seems the most resistant to that change. It seems like they have the most kind of old man on the lawn shaking their fists, right? They're like, oh no, this is how it used to be. And you have to remember Bobby Orr. we yeah, like we probably also, why is there hockey in Arizona? Like in a 3,000 person arena? Like traditionally, this is not how it was done, but big but. All right, well. Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad. Before we move on to anything else, that wraps up kind of our headlines. We have to make fun of NHL.com's daily, what do they call it? Daily fantasy hockey picks. All right. So we have to go all the way back to December 17th. That's the last date I have information. Who do they think would have a goal that night? I mean, we all did. It was Ovi. It was the Leafs. Did he have a goal? He didn't, actually. So that was kind of anticlimactic. Elias Pettersson. There you go. He won an assist. Pick him. He did not have that. Tage Thompson. Buffalo against Arizona. Why I remember that? I don't know. Power play point. Guess what? He had 1 power play point. Wow. Good job. And shots on goal. They had Jonathan Marchessault. He had 3. Does that count? Okay. I gave him a question mark because I was like, I mean, that's not a lot. It's like it's better than when they had, who did they have the week before? Josh Dobson for the Islanders, who had 1. So 3 times better. Today we have goal, William Nylander. There you go. That's the guy you want. We want Vincent Dunn, Seattle, to get an assist. Power play point, no one else but Jordan Kyrou. And shots on goal, basically shot himself. Taylor Hall? I don't know what I was going with that one, so. No, there you go. So, shots on goal, Taylor Hall. Let's go, Bruins. Stupid. You want to know real bad advice? Yeah. I don't, since I've started doing this and making fun of them, I don't know if I've actually won anything in FanDuel. So I should like bated breath. See, last time I played hockey, I was 32nd out of 32nd, dead last. All right. 50.4. All right, so you can see it on my screen right now. Yaroslav Halak, Rangers did beat the Flyers. He had 22 points. My next highest point getter was Rasmus Sandin, was 6.4. Cool, great. Ovechkin, Marner, Barzell, Strome, Eric Stahl, Bunting, Ethan Bear, you're all dead to me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah. Uh-huh. And someone did go off that night, though. It wasn't Nylander. I think he was the week before or something, because I had him in my lineup going into the show, edit it right before we started talking, and I was like, and he had like 40 something points, and I was like, damn it. So never second guess yourself. Someone else did well. I think it was just literally Marner who was like the only crappy Leaf that night. So good job, us. Hey, he was my highest scoring guy outside of my goalie. Come on. Mm-hmm. Woo! I started in net. I went, it was a pretty good squad playing some pretty good hockey right now. don't underestimate the Minnesota Wild. They're playing at the Buffalo Sabres. Right now I have Marc-Andre Fleury in net, but that's just going to be Minnesota Wild starting goalie. I was telling someone about this, and they said, "Why don't you just set like an alarm on your phone that says like check goalie at say 4:20 or something?" And I'm like, "Don't tell me how to live my life." Oh, I did. It shoved his face into a snowbank, and I was like, "It's like minus 30." It's miserable. Yeah, that kid had no idea what was coming. Yeah. Let's see. On defense, I went with a double stack. I like the value of Sandin and Lindgren. I think there might be some goal score, some point score. Or Toronto tonight. So at $39 and $3,800, it's not terrible. They are third pairing. We'll see what happens. Michael Bunting at $6,000. You play with Matthews, you play with Marner. He always seems like he's kind of poking around. Even plays on the power play. Not bad, $6,000. Other utility spot is filled with Mike Hoffman, $4,300. Montreal gets St. Louis tonight. And then the big guys, I saved all the money for up front. On wing, I have Lucas Raymond. Again, I think we're going to see some points. $5,000. Drake Batherson. It was between him and Mitch Marner. I just love Drake Batherson so much. He's nice. So I'm hoping he has a pretty good performance. $7,500. On center, I have got Anze Kopitar, $6,000. And then I went with the big gun, Connor McDavid, against Colorado tonight. Might also be some goals scored in that affair. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm. Sweet. I did make a change as I was looking. I noticed Nick Suzuki, 6,100. It's only $200 more than Kopitar. So could I make that up somewhere else? I think I can. So I got rid of Mike Hoffman, and I think I'm going to put in Ryan McLeod. So I'm getting McLeod and Suzuki instead of Kopitar and Mike Hoffman. I feel like those are both slight advantages over each other, and I'm happy with that. So I'm going to save that. So if you want real advice, Anze Kopitar hat trick and Mike Hoffman 5-point night. So there you go. Woo! All right. So that is our FanDuel. Good luck to you. As always, let's hope we get better than dead last in our pools. All right. Good things. But that leaves us to... that was my dirty fantasy. I didn't introduce that, but this is called Bettor Advice. What we do is we take 100 theoretical dollars, bet it every single week. We keep track of how we're doing. Essentially, you guys can live and die by us. You can follow us along. You can fade our picks if we're doing really poorly. You can take some of our advice. Just listen to us. I am up about $300 on the season. I think I was perfect last week, actually. Okay. I went 4 for 5, just for the record. The one I did miss was I had $15 overtime, and the Panthers Devils I was wrong. I was right about Stars and Canes. So, yeah. I think it was the week before I ran the table, too. Yeah, I was on a bit of a hot streak. I did all right towards the end of the year. So we'll see if I can continue it this year. I got 3 picks today. What do you got? So you're saying the Columbus Blue Jackets kind of play like Bart's elementary class? They try and get ahead of everyone else in the league by going slower than they are? That's smart. Wow, that's smart. Wow, all right. I can't remember any of the lines. I'm from Canada, eh? One day I don't know, something. Or he fell off a jungle gym and hit his head. No, that was a very good Simpsons reference. I apologize. Seattle. I won money betting on you the other night. I don't think you're getting 2 wins in Ottawa this week. I'm taking $40 on the Ottawa Senators. About 2-1 to beat the Seattle Kraken tonight. I think the Frisky Sens Saturday night, they're fired up. They probably have some marijuana. They've asked, but why? But they said, I do not care. So I'm going to put some money on the Sens tonight. Yeah, there we go. What is going on here? It's always interesting when I see lines move. So line live right now is essentially a pick'em. Even odds between the Kraken and the Senators tonight. Senators were definitely underdogs when I looked last evening. So I don't know if that just means that there's a abundance of money being put on the Senators at this point. So they're trying to balance that. But I always enjoy seeing line movements. My second pick also has some line movements, but only slightly, like $1 over the course of my $30 bet, so I'm not too concerned. I have Toronto, I have Detroit. We saw a 12-11 game last year at some point. It seemed kind of like a lazy winter Saturday night, and we saw fireworks. I think we're seeing fireworks tonight. 6.5 goals. I'm taking the over 1.85 and put $30 on that wager as well. They have, no, I think it's player props. That must be it. Period odds. Yeah, no. Play Alberta's kind of a little slow, so. Yeah. Sick. A lot of Canadian action is what I'm hearing, guys. A lot of Canadian action, except for Columbus. I don't think Columbus is part of Canada. So, final one. I have an over 6.5 goals in our second game of our Hockey Night in Canada broadcast. Avalanche, Oilers. Combined, could both those teams have 6 goals aside? I think that's very fair. So 6.5 as just the total. I like the over on that one. I'm going to put my last $30 on that affair. I almost went 30 with 10, but I don't feel super confident that I'm going to run the table. So I'm hoping for about 2 to 3. Keep that bankroll up just a little bit, have small increases. That is my strategy tonight, and I like that affair. You can't stop McDavid and Draisaitl at this point. Sick. Awesome. Nice. All right. That's it. Good luck to you. Good luck. Yeah, good weekend. We got some football going on this afternoon as well. Meaningless football, but then also not meaningless football. So we'll see what happens, especially after last Monday night's affair. Kind of put like a weird blank. Again, NFL, you can't ever, like, when they have like bad news happen and like tragedies happen, somehow they advance. Like, you know how many people are going to watch football this weekend and pay attention to what's going on because of that Bills Bengals game? Like, it's kind of sad. No, the NFL can like have literal players almost die on national television. Like, they can almost watch a man just stop living, and they're gonna have record-breaking viewership. The playoffs are going to be probably like one of the most viewed things or something like that as a result of this. And the NHL, they have, yeah. They, they just like move everyone to smaller arenas, and like that will take care of the problem. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's it. No. All right. Schwing. Lives in Florida. I wonder if there's any relations to Miles Gaskin. Random Dolphins running back from a couple years ago. That was like a top 12 fantasy option, and then I don't think he plays anymore. I don't see him, and I would think like they probably would have pictures together because that would probably be a good way to like bolster your social media. Look at my famous cousin. Not bad. Fabian Gaskin. We say schwing. Schwing. Cool. So that kind of wraps up our show. Look at that. Around an hour. We were going a little long in headlines. I kind of thought this would be like one of the longer shows. Let's just do a nice hour. Oh yeah. Yeah, like that's not or like I can't make the show. Okay, like that's like our conversations. Like if you looked at other shows like producer notes, back end stuff, we are the most casual 60-minute show you'll ever find. Cool. Uh Based on the only thing I wanted to mention, well, not that I mentioned, the only weird tab that I pulled up randomly was like the mock draft that's currently happening. Clearly, Connor Bedard's going first. Adam Fantilli is second on the projections, anyways. Gunther, that Team Canada forward Gunther. Auditorily, if you just listened to the World Juniors tournament, he might have been the most recognizable player. I've heard his name based on purely on ice product, multiple, like probably the most out of any player. Like if you track those things, I was wondering where he was at. I don't know if he is drafted, has been drafted. No, yeah, me neither. So there you go. So that's my homework. Actually, I'll just do it on my own. You don't get any follow up. That's your homework if you're interested. What's gun? Son of a bitch. Huh. All right, there you go. So it worked. Me listening to the game, I was like, that guy seems really good. Cool. All right. Well, I wish I would have looked before I started looking at mock drafts. Now I just look like a big, stupid, well, more of a big dumb idiot. Sorry. That's, you know. Yeah, that's not what you want. So sorry, Dylan Gunther. Good luck. If you suck for a while, maybe you get traded somewhere nice. That's the only positive thing to look forward to in your career. Is if you suck really badly, they'll make you go somewhere else. So, yeah. Sky's the limit. So with that, though, that is our end of our show. We're back probably next week, barring anything unforeseen. I think I'm good actually Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. I might be spoken for. So that works for me. See you then. Zang. All right. Well, with that, we say party on, Grant.